I stand in front of you as Sis Khanyisile Chaba, a mother, a sister, a friend, an aunt, a foster mother to 13 children. 13 because I come from a family of 13. And yes, my parents were very busy. But I also stand in front of you as a long-distance runner, having completed 10 of the 87-kilometer Comrades Marathon, 10 to Oceans Marathon, yes. The Paris Marathon and the Marathon on the Great Wall of China. I've also done the 6 World Major International Marathon. There are 2 South African black women who have completed the 6th. One of them is in the room, Mpokulo Makara. But I am here addressing you as a mountaineer as well. I've summited Mount Kilimanjaro, the highest peak in the continent. I've also, yes, continue. I have to own it. And I've also summited the highest peak as part of the 7 summits in Europe, Russia, Mount Elbrus. The lesson that I got from Mount Kilimanjaro, if you look at the second photo in the first row, I was hit with altitude sickness at -0 degrees. It's the harshest and hard mountain to climb. But if you look at that photo, my friends and my fellow climbers were around me, and we managed to summit. On the second row, that is Mount Elbrus. The main reason why I was climbing this mountain was to raise funds for my 13 foster children. A technical mountain, thick in ice, at any given time, -24 degrees. So I think, and also by how you have been clapping for me, I think you all agree that when it comes to courage, when it comes to pushing against boundaries and challenges, and also maybe losing a few brain cells, we can agree that I tick the boxes. But when it comes to me being a professional in the sustainability agenda, it is one of the biggest challenges that I've yet to conquer. Because my job in the essence is about convincing business and people such as yourself to talk a different language when it comes to transitioning into the green economy. Ladies and gentlemen, we know that the planet can survive on its own. It actually doesn't need us. It does what it does need to do on a daily basis, whether we are here or not. But oh my, how we have stepped in and created a planet that now needs to be repaired. How we have overstepped our mark and created a planet today that can't provide what it needs to do purely by us not being conscious of our decisions on a daily basis. The Stockholm Resilience Center is an international organization that talks about conducting research to look at how we are affecting the planet and what are the stresses that we are causing onto the environment. And they've described 9 planetary boundaries, talking about the climate change, the ocean, the ozone. We look at nitrogen cycle, fresh water, land, biodiversity loss, atmosphere, and also chemical pollution. And once these boundaries were able to take care of themselves without us being here, we have already overstepped our mark on 3 important ones. Climate change. Who would have thought in this beautiful continent, Africa, at the top, and in fact at the bottom of this continent, in the south and also on the border of our coastline, that we would actually be experiencing floods. One of our biggest provinces in KwaZulu-Natal recently, we've seen how people have died and infrastructure destroyed because of climate change. One of our neighboring countries, Zimbabwe, Malawi, and Mozambique, tropical cyclone Idai in her wake left 1,300 people dead, and some of their lives today have changed forever. When you look at the nitrogen cycle, the kind of food that we eat and feed our children today comes from a soil that's actually been affected and impacted with chemicals that have created toxins. How many people do you know today that are sick and we can't even explain some of those sicknesses? In fact, if there's 200 of us around this room, statistics are such that over 60 people here will die of cancer. That's nitrogen cycle that has been impacted. When you look at the rate of biodiversity loss, planet on its own was able to have over 2 million species. Do you know that as we stand today, in 2019, 200 to 2 million of species extinct, just like that, because of us. In fact, when you look at mammals, 94% of mammals made of us, and animals, the majority of the animals are domesticated for our own use. So we may think climate change and the issues around the climate are far ahead. This picture is well famous. Many of you might have seen it. This is sitting in the Great Pacific. Sheer grime, dirt, and toxins. And bulk of it is plastic. This is the size of half of South Africa in terms of geography. And this is in Cape Town, our prominent, our beautiful city. A friend of mine took this picture the other day. So whilst we may think our challenges, our issues have got nothing to do with climate change, this is right here in our backyard. And yes, the seafood that we love when you go to Cape Town is exposed to this. And I can tell you, there's no fish that has been producing this plastic. It's us. Here's the thing we have seen in our country, especially in our continent, the issues of societal ills and societal upheavals. And unwittingly, we may be taking decisions, particularly in our financial issues, and contributing to where we are as a society today. So I am addressing you as people with the power and the capacity to change how things can actually be done differently as far as climate change in the future is concerned. I'm talking to you as people who have a choice and can really determine how differently our world is going to look like. So if you think climbing mountains and long distance running is a big job, this is the biggest job of mine and the biggest challenge that I've yet to conquer. In my organization, we have put the issues of responsible investment at the heart of our agenda as a business. But the biggest issue is making you become aware that you have the choice. In fact, in South Africa today, we have pension fund regulations that allows you to make a decision to invest in a responsible manner. How many of you, by the way, by show of hands, who have pension funds? Pension investment, how many? Okay, don't be shy, nobody's looking at you. How many of you, by show of hand, know where the money that you are investing in your pension is going? Where it is being invested? How many of you know? Why am I not surprised? Very few people know. And ladies and gentlemen, here's the issue. You could be investing in your future, making decisions today, thinking that you are going to be profitable and taken care of, and yet you could be eroding from the very same future that you are investing in. So in our organization, we conducted research to look at what is the possibility, what is it that you can do as an individual to change where our investments are going. This graph, the top line, simply talks to an investment asset that incorporates environmental, social, and governance issues. This is where you become aware and a game changer and an influencer in terms of where your money is going. The second graph really is also about investing in the normal classes, in the normal normal index. So you still gain your growth. It still shows that you are at the end of the day going to profit, but at what cost? Here's the thing. You could make your money in the manner that you want. Long term, you will not be able to actually educate your children or actually even go on holiday to enjoy your money. And even if you think you're going to run away from South Africa, by the way, because of the social issues, and you go to Europe, guess what? Climate change is everywhere. So you'll have to come back home, meaning you have to fix where we are, and we have to do that together. So here's where we find ourselves today. Knowing what you know now, where do you want to be? You can use your money and your decisions to change the landscape. Instead of investing in fossil fuel, instead of investing in creating damage to the climate, you can make a choice that we can have clean water, clean air, and actually deal away with the issues of the chemicals that are causing all the challenges that we have as a society. In mountain climbing, anything can happen. So this was one of the days on the mountain. We were acclimatizing, going up to 4,000 meters. And in the mountain, it's very important that you stay on the line and you follow your guide. So there I was on this particular day because I'm super fit. I mean, you can tell just in terms of my energy that I don't have a problem moving around. True story. And then I loosened one of my shoes, which was giving me a problem, and I stayed behind to actually tie my shoe. And there was no problem because everybody knew Khanyi's fit. She's going to catch up with the group very quickly. As I was tying my shoe and I stood up, I actually thought I had gone blind. The weather and the conditions changed immediately. Here's the thing in mountain climbing. The first thing that they teach you, don't panic. The second thing is just focus on what the instruction was. But in the midst of thinking, you don't know where you are, you're lost on the mountain, the issue is death on mountain is real. And I could have fallen into a crevice and never be found. So when it comes to issues of the decisions that we make around our investments, they may happen that things are changing so fast and we may never be able to reverse the situation. It's up to you how you're going to think differently today. 3 critical success factors on mountain climbing. Number 1, there comes a time on the mountain where you have to put yourself first as an individual, where nobody can pull you or push you. In fact, mountain climbing, by the way, is not a spectator sport. Nobody's standing and say, hey, well done, keep going. It's about you first understanding what is your commitment, what is the promise that you're making to you and those that you are climbing with. Number 2, it's about when you're about to summit, there's a very narrow path and it's on the edge. That's where you begin to understand that you have no option. You can't decide that, okay, no, I was joking, I want to go back. Or you want to step on the side. At that point, you just have to follow the instruction. When it comes to transitioning into the green economy, ladies and gentlemen, we are at the point where we have no choice but to follow the instruction and do what is right. The last thing on mountain climbing is about when you get to the summit, some of my fellow climbers are here as well. It's about a group, it's a collective, how you get to the top together. Because again, how we're going to look at the future in changing and transitioning is going to take a collective and all of us understanding that we can change the landscape and the agenda. I shared about my 13 kids. This is when they were still young, and a whole lot of them no confidence because they did not have the resources that were required for their education. So through many support, and my friends and my partners, we were able to support these kids. And this is who they are today. Young adults, graduates, they now have jobs, they're taking care of themselves and those around them. And how did they get here? It's because somebody decided to give them a chance and hear their story. So my issue with you is, why don't you give our planet a chance? Actually, what is it that you are prepared to do differently to make sure that you are congruent with where the planet is? But the bigger question for me to you is, what is it that you are prepared to change? Not just for yourself, but for something that is bigger than you. And once you understand that, when are you going to start? When?